Hello, my name is Josina, and today I'm going to teach you to play Auld Lang Syne by ear with understanding. I say with understanding because I think there's a lot of misconceptions out there about what it really means to play piano by ear. So one common misconception is that playing piano by ear means you just sort of fumble around on the keys until you find the piece. So that's not what we're going to do today. Another misconception is that you learn by either watching a teacher or a video just show you what notes to play. That's also not what we're going to do today. And the third misconception that I hear a lot is that some people are born with the ability to play by ear and some people are not. Also not true. I'm here today to show you that it's a skill that can be learned. I'm making this video with all levels of musicians in mind. So if you've never touched a piano before, it's for you. If you're an advanced pianist, this is also for you. Don't skip any steps, even if you're advanced and you wonder why we're doing it. They're all really important, so make sure you follow through. Feel free to pause the video at any time to practice what we work on. And especially if you're not familiar with this piece, you might want to especially listen to the first few steps a few times. The steps we're going to follow today can be applied to any piece that you want to learn by ear, and they will help you grow in your musical understanding, no matter where you are in the musical process. So if you feel like you got to step 2 or 3 and you've done enough, that's totally fine. You've still learned a lot and helped yourself grow musically. We're going to stand for the first few steps, so you can go ahead and stand up. All right, for step 1, we're going to sing the song with no words, and we're going to move with flow. So I'm just going to trace some light figure eights. If you want to move in a bigger way, you can, or you can just stick with me in our light figure eights. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Right, next we're gonna figure out if this piece is in duple or triple. Excuse me. So to figure out, we're gonna put a beat in our feet, and then we'll see what matches better. Do day, or do dotty. So I'm gonna sing and I'll slowly start doing it. So you can try to figure it out, and if you can't find it, I'll start doing it with you. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum 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 bum. Bum bum ba-dum bum bum ba-dum bum 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 bum. Good, so we have duple meter. This song has 2 rhythm patterns. I'm going to chant them, and then you can echo them back to me. Ba 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 ba. Ba 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 ba. Good. Coming back to the piece. I'm going to sing just a little bit of the piece. Bum 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 bum. Is this song in major tonality? do, mi, so, sol, la, sol, fa, mi, re, ti, do. Or is it in minor tonality? La, do, mi, fa, mi, re, do, ti, si, la. Which of those matches better? It's major tonality. Do, mi, so, sol, la, sol, fa, mi, re, ti, do. Do is the resting tone. Sing. Do. I'm going to sing this song again. This time I'm going to pretend to swim. You can swim with me. But I'm going to freeze. And whenever I freeze, you freeze too and sing. Do. Bum, 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 bum. Do. Bum, 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 bum. Do. Bum, 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 bum. Do. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum. Do. Bum, 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 bum. Do. Bum, 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 bum. Do. Good. I'm going to sing some tonal patterns from the piece. Can you sing them back to me? Bum, bum. So, do. Bum, bum. Do, mi. Bum, bum, bum. Mi, re, do. Bum, bum, bum. Do, mi, so. So, mi, do. Do, la. Do, la. Re, la. Mi, so. Good. So those patterns find the structure of our piece. If you want, you can pause the video here, sing the song to yourself, see if you can find those patterns. We'll just find one of them. Which of those patterns is the beginning of the song? You can rewind if you want to hear them again. So I'll tell you the first pattern is so, do. That's our beginning. Alright, I'm going to sing the song one more time. Can you trace figure eights with me? And can you sing with me this time? Bum, 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 bum. Alright, so now we're going to take some of those skills we learned standing up and apply them to the piano. So first, we're going to chant those rhythm patterns we chanted while we were standing up. So I'm going to chant it, and then I just want you to echo it back to me. Ba, 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 ba. Good. Now we're just going to use our middle finger. So if you think of cupping your hand, like you're catching drops of rain and then pour them out. We're just going to use our middle finger with all the other fingers close by. And we're going to play that rhythm on one key. Any key you want, white or black. Ba, 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 ba. Good. Now we're going to play that rhythm on random keys. So you can use one hand or both hands, just like you're a baby at the piano. Ba, 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 ba. Good. We're going to do the same steps for our other rhythm pattern. There's only 2 rhythm patterns in this piece. So first, you're just going to echo it with your voice. Ba, 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 ba. Good. Then we're going to use our nice hand, so we catch the water, pour it out. We use middle finger to play that rhythm on one key. Ba, 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 ba. Good. Now we're going to do that one with random keys like we're a baby at the piano. Ba, 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 ba. So those were our rhythm patterns from the piece. Now we're going to move to our tonal patterns. Those were the things we sang. You might have noticed we used a lot of combinations of do, mi, sol. So we're going to learn to play do, mi, sol first. Any key on the piano can be do, but right now we're going to think of this one as our do. So this note is C. It's the white key right underneath 2 black keys. So here's C, do. And to play do, mi, sol, we're just going to skip over one white key at a time. So we have do, mi, sol. Go ahead and try that. Now try playing do, mi, sol when C is do everywhere you can find it. So I could also play it up here. Do, mi, sol. Or over here. Try all the different places up and down you can find it. Alright, so now we're going to use our tonal patterns to build the structure of our piece. We're going to work phrase by phrase. I'll show you the tonal patterns, but we're always going to come back to singing first before we play. So we're going to work on the first phrase right now. So first we'll just sing the first phrase. These are first 2 notes. Bum, 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 bum. So that's our first phrase. So now that we know how to find do, mi, sol on the piano, we can probably, or you can probably already figure out where some of those patterns are going to be. So these are the 4 patterns that we're going to use in the first phrase. So, do, do, mi, mi, re, do, do, mi, sol. Now, if you're feeling bold, you might pause the video here and see if you can use those 4 patterns to help you play the first phrase of the piece. So those patterns are the structure. We're going to add a couple notes in between to make it sound like Auld Lang Syne. So if you're feeling like you might be ready for that challenge, you can use those 4 patterns, and I'll show you them again in a second, to try the first phrase of the piece. So those patterns were so, do, do, mi, re, do, do, mi, so. So go ahead and pause if you're up for that challenge. If not, I'm going to show you where to add those passing notes. All right, so here's the first phrase of the piece. And there's the first phrase. If you watch the video closely, you'll be able to see all 4 of those tonal patterns that we played earlier. So go ahead, pause here, take some time to practice that phrase, get really comfortable with it before moving on to phrase 2. Now we have phrase 2. So following our sequence from before, the first thing we're going to do is sing. So here's our first note. Bum, 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 bum. This phrase also uses 4 tonal patterns. So I'm going to play each tonal pattern, and then you can play it back. Here's the first one. So, mi, do. Mi, re, do. Do, la. So, do. So there's our 4 patterns. You might have noticed some of those are ones we've already played earlier in the piece. So once again, I'm going to play those patterns all in a row. If you're feeling up to the challenge, you can then pause the video and see if you can find where you need to add just a couple extra notes to make that sound like the second phrase of the song. So here's those 4 patterns again. So, mi, do, mi, re, do, do, la, so, do. So go ahead, pause here if you want to give that a try. If not, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to play phrase 2. So maybe you already caught that, and if not, I'm sure if you rewatch the video a couple times, you'll see those 4 patterns for phrase 2. So go ahead, pause this video, and give yourself a chance to practice that phrase a couple times before moving on to the third phrase. So now we're moving on to phrase 3. And first, just like all our other phrases, we're going to sing it. We're going to start phrase 3 at the end of phrase 2, and you'll see why when I have you play it. So we're going to sort of start back here, end of phrase 2. Bum, 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 bum. So that's phrase 3. Phrase 3 also has 4 tonal patterns. So I'm going to play each tonal pattern, and then I'd like you to sing and play it back to me. So here's our first tonal pattern. Do, la, so, mi, do, And you might have noticed that one of those patterns, this one, re, la, is one that I forgot to sing earlier back when we were standing and singing, so my apologies for that. So, if you're feeling up to the challenge, you might already have figured out or try to figure out how to string those 4 tonal patterns together with some extra passing notes to play the third phrase. I'm going to play those 4 tonal patterns in a row again, and then you can either pause the video to give that a try or just hang on and I'll show you how to play phrase 3. Do, la, sol, mi, do, re, la, mi, sol. Right, so you can go ahead and pause if you want to give that a try, or if you want me to just show you, you can hang on and I'll show you right now. So just like when we were singing, we're going to start playing at the end of phrase 2. We do that so we can practice this big jump from the do to the la. So we're going to start right here. This is phrase 3. There's phrase 3 of the piece. So pause the video here, practice that a few times, watch it a few times, and then we'll move on to the final phrase of the piece. Alright, so we've arrived at the end of the piece. We're at phrase 4. And just like with our other phrases, we're going to sing it first. Here's our first note. Bum, 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 bum. Bum, bum. Does that sound familiar? That sounds like phrase 2 of the piece. So, surprise, we actually already know how to play this phrase. I'll do a quick review of the tonal patterns that we use for this piece, and then I'll show you how to play it. So our tonal patterns for this part, reminder, were sol, mi, do, mi, re, do, do, la, so, do. And to make it sound like the final phrase of Auld Lang Syne, we add some extra notes. And there you have Auld Lang Syne. So I'm going to play the whole melody of the piece so you can see it once. You might have noticed this whole time I've been using my middle finger, just like I showed you at the beginning. Even if you're an advanced pianist, this is a really good way to learn by ear because it makes sure that you're learning the piece by the patterns and not by muscle memory using your fingers. So if you want to use a better fingering, you can go ahead and do that. If you're a more novice pianist, you might want to just stick to this nice middle finger. So here's the whole melody of Auld Lang Syne. So there you have it, the whole melody. You might want to just stop there. Maybe you're content just playing the melody, especially if you're a beginner. If not, I have a few more minutes where I'm going to show you how to add chord roots and then how to build your own version of Auld Lang Syne. So I'm going to move a little quicker through these end parts of the video. I'm confident that if you've made it this far, you can just watch these parts a couple times to get your practice in and use your ear and your patterns that we've already learned to help you. So the next thing I'm going to do is play Auld Lang Syne with chord roots. And while I'm playing the chord roots, I'm going to sing them as well. So you might want to rewatch this part of the video a couple times. You might want to listen the first time and then rewind, play it again, and try singing along with me. So as a reminder, we're not singing the melody, we're singing the chord roots. So what my left hand is playing these low notes. So in case you didn't catch that, there were two main patterns that I was singing for the left hand. First one was, and I'm singing it quicker than you'd sing with this, do, so, do, fa. And then the next pattern was do, so, la, do. So rewind the video, try singing that along with me. I'm going to show you how to play those chord roots that I was just singing. I'm going to use my middle finger again so you can see really clearly. If you're newer to piano, you probably want to stick with just using your middle finger. If you're not newer to piano, you can use all 5 fingers. So here's our first pattern for the left hand. We had do, so, do, fa. And that's obviously a lot quicker than when I play it. I just want you to see that. So when I put it together, it would look like this. So that's the pattern for the first phrase. All right, here's the left hand pattern for phrase 2. Do, so, la, do. And sorry, for phrase 2 and 4. So phrase 1 and 3 left hand are the same. Phrase 2 and 4 left hand are the same. So I'm going to play it with phrase 2. So you might want to stop the video here. Maybe you've already figured out how to put the chord roots and right hand together for the whole thing. If not, I'm going to play the whole melody with the chord roots so you can see what that looks like. And there you have the melody and chord roots together for the whole song. Alright, so now you know how to play Auld Lang Syne, either just the melody or the melody with the chord roots. If you want to keep going, you can build chords on the chord roots. So, for example, instead of playing just one note, you'll put your little finger on that note and build a chord. And once you've added the chords, you might try rearranging the chords. You might try playing arpeggios in the left hand. After that, you can just let your creativity run with you. You might make an introduction, you might add some more chords in your right hand, you might try transposing the piece. If you know what that means, you can change where do is. And the reason that you can do all these things is because you learn to play it by patterns. Those patterns are really helpful. So I hope you enjoy Auld Lang Syne, and stay tuned. I have one last step you might want to try at the end of this video.